Hi families, this video is to explain the resource Think Through Math, also now known as Imagine Math. The broader platform is Imagine Learning that has different subjects, but it is Imagine Math or Think Through Math is the name of the program. I'm going to be explaining this for you as families to be able to help your students to know what they need to work on, but also this is a good video for students to look at to refresh what they know, and also they might not have used all the features that they're now going to use. So first, to just go over what Think Through Math is. This platform is unique for each student. The students are given different lessons, and they have different parts of the lesson to be able to learn everything that they're supposed to learn in fourth grade, just about. So if they're not understanding something, they'll get more of that type of lesson. If they're understanding it, they'll continue going along what they're supposed to learn the whole year in fourth grade. The Think Through Math lessons might not directly correlate or might not be exactly what we're working on in our mini lessons for the day or our lessons for the day, but it is something that they'll need to know. So it's a good way to make sure that they remember all that they're supposed to learn in fourth grade. So first, the students were given their username and passwords. I sent them out to each parent through Class Dojo. Most students memorize theirs since they come on every single day. But if you did not receive it, please reach out to me and I'll make sure to send that right away. So the first part that we're going to look at today is the dashboard. So I will be using my mouse to point out different aspects of Think Through Math. So my mouse right here, we're looking at this yellow box first. This is where the different pathways that your teachers are assigning for the students. So the Texas 4 pathway for fourth grade is every single thing that they'll learn throughout the year. If they're in third grade, it will say Texas 3 pathway. If they're in fifth grade, it will say Texas 5 pathway. This is the default pathway that Think Through Math gives the students, which is, again, everything they're supposed to learn. And then there's other pathways your student might or might not have. For fourth grade, the geometry and strip diagram and equation pathway are two pathways that I gave them specific topics. And when they're finished, those won't show up anymore. Any pathway, when they're finished all of the lessons, it will go away. So that's how you'll know your student has finished that pathway. It won't show up. So within the pathway, let's say that we go to geometry and we select it. Your student will know how many lessons are in each of these pathways by after they select it. So now I have geometry selected. If I go down here to where it says see all lessons and click on it, they'll see that in this geometry pathway, they have to complete all of these different lessons. And something that students don't always understand is not just about completing the lessons. It is not over until they have passed the lesson. So if I go back to the home, I can see down here with these circles, the orange and the blue. The orange circle is how many lessons they've completed, passed, or failed. So this orange one is all inclusive, all the lessons they've done. But this blue bubble is really the one that we are looking at as teachers. I mean, we're looking at the orange one as well, so we can see how many times they had to take the lesson. But the blue bubble is how many lessons they have passed. So for example, this is my student account. I took the benchmark test already and I have passed one lesson that you've seen in the blue bubble, and it took me one time to pass that lesson. So I only did it one time and I passed it. So that's how you can tell if your student is passing the lessons. They really need to have a pencil or pen, paper showing their work, really taking the time to go through the lessons to be able to pass them. A lot of students are just clicking or aren't really paying attention. They really need to treat this as if it was a lesson. So back to, we're going to look at this yellow box now. So it's showing the Texas 4 pathway right now. Each part of the lesson will have different components. The warm-up, it will have a pre-quiz usually. So this one doesn't have a pre-quiz because it's the first lesson in the whole pathway. But usually the pre-quiz is testing what they already know. In the regular lesson, in the Texas 4 or Texas 3 or Texas 5 pathway, the pre-quiz, if they score 80% or above, they automatically pass to the next lesson and don't have to go over each component because it shows that they already have mastery for that topic. So the pre-quiz can be after the pre-quiz, depending on your score, you can skip to the next lesson, again, if it's 80% or more. But if you don't get 80% or more, after the pre-quiz is the warm-up. The warm-up is usually a game. If the students don't understand how to play the game, it's an option at the bottom to skip the game. But there also are directions at the beginning of each game to explain to the students how they should be doing that. Each game is about 3 minutes, and it really just helps the student practice whatever skill that they'll need through that lesson through game form. The next part of the lesson is the guided learning lesson. And during the guided learning lesson, that is where students are able to get support on Think Through Math. There are going to, and I'll show you a video a little bit later, but there are usually two helps, which are examples in the right corner. So if you go to the lesson, and this is the game, so we're going to start this next lesson. I can skip the game. That's where you skip it at the bottom. And if I go to my guided learning lesson, on the right here is Math Help. This is an excellent resource for students to be able to be on Think Through Math independently without a parent or a family member to support them. They can support themselves through the program. So if you click on Math Help, there are two different examples. So we have two different examples showing the students, trying to guide them, their thinking, to be able to understand the problem. So the students have to go through, if they go through the first one and they understand it, then they answer. They go through the second one, they understand it, they answer. So if I answer this question incorrectly, I already did my Math Help, I answer it incorrectly, they give me Math Help 1, okay? If I answer it incorrectly again, that's Help 2 that they'll automatically give me. So one thing that we see is students won't even read the helps. They'll just hit close and just click on the next answer for a guess and check. We want the students to actually be engaged in this program and actually read the helps. So encourage your student to read the helps. But this is Help 2. I still didn't understand it. So now, after going through Math Help 1 and Math Help 2, I can go to Imagine Math Teacher, and the students can talk to a live teacher on here. They can hit chat now, and I'll play a video a little bit later explaining that. But every single question during the guided learning and some of the lessons, there's a problem solving part as well. During guided learning and problem solving, they can use these math helps and talk to a live teacher who can walk them through the process of solving this problem. And live teachers are available Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And they're also available on weekends as well. So this is just so that you can see the aspects of the lesson. This is how every single guided learning lesson is. And then they have practice, which they should use their journal and take any notes that they got from the help section from the guided practice to help them with practice. During this practice, number 3 up here, during that, they will not have the option of math help or to talk to a live teacher because they should have done it during guided learning to be able to really understand it, to show what they know during practice. And finally, for each lesson, they get a post quiz. This is to see what they know as kind of an exit ticket. And if they score 70% or better on the post quiz, they'll go to the next lesson because they've showed mastery. So these are just the components of the lesson. And then I'll go back. So again, we already talked about the pathways. We talked about the different parts. We talked about how you can tell between the lessons that your student completed just in general, which is the orange, versus the lessons they have passed. We're trying to get them to pass these lessons. So really taking the time, show their work, go through the math helps, talk to the live teachers. We're trying to give them as many resources as possible for them to be independent learners throughout this. And then the next part that I'll talk about, let me show you the help feature video. So this is helpful for you to know just for a little bit. It explains more the help features.
That's my friend Jacob. It looks like he's having a little trouble. I'm going to help him out. Hi, Jacob. How's it going on Imagine Math?
I don't know how to do this.
Are you on the guided learning or problem-solving part of the lesson? Those are the only two places you can access the live teacher.
I don't know.
Look here. Yep, you are. Have you used the helps?
Yes, I've used both the math helps and I've journaled.
Wow. Good job. If you've used both math helps, then you can work with a live teacher. Have you done that yet?
No, I don't want to talk to a robot.
It's not a robot, it's a teacher, a real person.
Really?
Yeah, try it. They really helped me last time I used it.
How long does it take?
It takes about 5 minutes. Try it, you'll love it.
What should I pick?
I always pick talk so I can hear the teacher's voice. I just put my headphones on so I don't bother anyone else.
Can I talk back?
No, you always have to type back.
Okay, this looks cool. Are you a real person?
Yes, I am, and I'm here to help you with your math. So let's get started. What does this problem ask you to find?
The number of cases?
Exactly. What is the total number of bottles needed?
150?
Very good, Jacob. How many bottles are in just one case?
I have no idea. I don't get this.
No problem. Let's look at an example together on the whiteboard. Let's say I need 7 tomatoes and can buy tomatoes in packages.
So you can see that on the help feature with the live teacher, they're able to take the students step by step through the problem solving process, so that they're asking questions to see if they understand. And if I were to continue with the video, the live teacher was asking the student to group different aspects of the problem together in a visual way. So that's an excellent resource to give to students to become independent learners as well. So the last part of this video that I'm going to talk about are the fun things that will keep the students engaged and will also help the students to be motivated to complete their lessons. So first, the messages appear on your dashboard. The messages I'm tracking, or your teacher, Miss Frazier, Miss Sinclair, they're tracking your work. And if you go to messages, you'll be able to see if we have given you any feedback or if we've messaged you. So in this one, I wrote, "Great job passing this lesson, G," and that was from Miss Brisbane. So all the messages are only from Miss Brisbane if you look at them.